In this video, I interview Maykl Hovanesyan, who is a corporate lawyer and a partner at Protto Legal and has been following AI closely. Protto Legal is a law firm based in Yerevan, Armenia that provides corporate law and business advisory services, with the majority of their clients coming from Western countries. I ask Maykl questions such as how he and other lawyers currently use AI, current regulations and legislation around AI, how copyright and intellectual property rights work with AI, and much more. All right, let's get into it. Have you started using AI personally, or have you started using it for Protto?
I believe it was since the first days that the chat OpenAI has been, all over the internet.
Yeah.
I started using it. I started, researching more about it. And I think that, yes, it definitely will be a game changer in the business throughout the world. But of course, there are some factors to consider, right? So there is the cost. Implementing AI can be expensive.
Right.
So I think as a business owner, you should evaluate the cost and potential return on investment for your personal or business use case, right? Also, you have to evaluate the efficiency of using the AI because sometimes it can automate repetitive or time consuming tasks, such as, for example, in our field, contract review or legal research. Well, you don't want to keep on doing the same things, which are, which take a lot of time, but you would really benefit if someone else did it for you. So AI would definitely give this advantage. There are tools with the same chat OpenAI which let you do legal research more speedy and you get your response easily. We have a software which we use on a daily basis where we use the timesheets to understand what is our billing like, what is the time tracking. So we use these type of softwares to minimize our time consumption and to basically make sure that the clients always receive everything on the right time and gives us a competitive advantage.
So let's say you use ChatGPT or something like that for generating a contract. How do you make sure that the output it has is correct?
I wouldn't trust Chat OpenAI for drafting a contract for sure.
I see.
There are some different SaaS programs or different tools you can use you basically upload your contract and the AI is programmed to evaluate the risks you will have as one party or another. And it provides you feedback on the certain clauses you should pay more attention to. And it even gives room for improvement. So basically it gives you comments, work on this, you may edit this part and basically formulate it in the following way. So these type of tools really help you.
So how does copyright and intellectual property work with AI generated content? Let's say I generate some image and it contains images that have been
taken from somewhere else.
Movies or exactly. Who owns that copyright or that intellectual property? Is it the company that originally gave the input, or is it the company that generated the art, or is it the generator, the person using the AI?
This is one of the most debatable topics that is going on throughout the internet now, and a lot of experts are arguing for one or for the other part. But I'm of the following opinion that the copyright and intellectual property laws apply to AI generated content in much the same way as they would apply to human generated content. However, there are some unique challenges and considerations when it comes to AI generated content or protecting IP rights in the development of this type of AI technologies. One of the first things would be ownership of AI generated content. So in many cases, the ownership of AI generated content may be unclear. If an AI system is trained on a data set or inputs that are owned by someone else, let's say a company, there may be questions about who owns the resulting output, right? So it is really important to establish clear ownership and licensing agreements to avoid such disputes. So what you would typically do is whenever you enter or use a software program, an application, or a website, you go and read the terms of use, licensing agreements to make sure that you do have the ownership of the content generated by you. Otherwise, And this is the standard or the common way of doing things when you are the website owner, right? You would say that the ownership goes with the AI or the company. It gives origination to a lot of disputes. So, of course, companies can protect their AI technologies through like patents, trade secrets, and other forms of protection. However, there may be challenges in obtaining patents for AI technologies, right? And this is mainly because the legal landscape is still evolving in this area. For example, in Armenia, it would be very, very difficult to receive such a patent in an AI technology. And I believe the same would be with the states. So it's yet evolving, and it's evolving
Gotcha.
very quickly. So what you want to do is make sure you stay updated with
Yeah.
all these new things that are coming to this world.
And that leads me
So
directly to my next question. How do you stay up to date on the latest developments in AI and its legal implications?
some of the examples would be definitely to follow industry news. At least 3 times per week, I follow the news feed that is going on in TechCrunch, in The Verge, or The Wired, the industry news platforms such as them. And of course, networking or attending conferences and events is always a benefit to you if you want to stay up to date, because you get to know people who are working on developing such AI technologies, and you always remain in tune with the trends. The third thing which I do is I read academic publications to follow relevant academic journals and publications, such as, for example, the Journal of Artificial Intelligence Research or the Journal of Law and Technology. I'll give you the links.
Sure.
They are quite interesting.
In terms of current regulation or legislation that currently exists, are there any that have been, universally adopted by countries, or is it still kind of emerging? Nothing is really out there yet.
I think the right answer would be the second one. There is currently no legislation regulating the AI. Rather, AI systems are regulated by other regulations, for example, GDPR or the California Consumer Privacy Act, Algorithmic Accountability Act. And of course, there are many proposals for AI regulation, such as the one in the EU. So the European Union has proposed this regulation for AI that would impose strict rules for high AI systems, including requirements for transparency, human oversight, or risk management. So this regulation would also establish a regulatory body to oversee compliance and enforcement. One of the problems that I see with the AI is, of course, an ethical consideration. And another one would be fair use or transformative use. You never know if the AI is biased or unbiased, but we all know that all AI products are biased in algorithmic decision making. So you need to find a regulatory body to mitigate these type of risks.
It's also interesting because if different countries have different regulations, then people will be able to bypass those regulations by launching their products in different countries.
As difficult as it sounds to basically incorporate all these doctrines, definitions, terms of use in one act universally, we have the experience with the GDPR, which came into effect in May 2018. It regulates, of course, another topic, another matter, which is the use of personal data in the European Union, including that data that is processed by AI systems, by the way. This regulation imposes strict requirements for obtaining user content, implementing data protection measures, and ensuring transparency and accountability in the use of personal data. So I would say this regulation, in instance, does a good job, and it is highly evaluated and praised by the experts.
Got
and
it.
everyone wants to comply with this regulation whenever they are launching a new product or uploading something on their websites. So this is the way to go. Of course, it's a
Makes
hard
sense.
way of saying things in the future, but we will hopefully get the.
How do you see the field of AI evolving in the next 5 to 10 years, and how will it impact the legal profession?
The first thing that it would impact is the increased adoption of AI. I think we can expect to see a continued increase in the adoption of AI technology across industries, like the legal profession. And the tools and platforms are already being used to automate routine legal tasks, such as the ones that we discussed earlier. For example, document review, contract analysis, and there are even tools which conduct due diligence processes, which are part of mergers and acquisitions. We will definitely see an improved legal analytics because AI can analyze large amounts of data and identify patterns and trends that are uh, basically very difficult to detect for us lawyers now, and it can be very time consuming. So this can be particularly useful in the legal profession, as I said, when you are trying to predict case outcomes, for example, litigation case outcomes, assessing settlement offers, or analyzing legal precedents. If these type of information are open source, then it gives a lot of space to work for AI, and it can do a lot of tasks that have been unknown to human nature and basically impossible, for example, 5 years ago. Of course, there will be a lot of ethical and regulatory changes and challenges, but we have to adapt to it, and I believe that it will have a significant impact on the legal profession in the next few years.
What advice would you give to law students, and what advice would you give to law students who want to specialize in AI?
I think it would be pretty common for all students, but especially for law students who want to specialize in AI, it must be to develop a strong understanding of AI technology, maybe building expertise in relevant legal fields. Since AI is the future, you want to be a step forward. You want to make sure that you know this area better than the others. And of course, it's about developing a strong understanding of AI technology, staying up to date with AI legal developments by following up the platforms that I mentioned earlier, and maybe seek out opportunities for practical experiences, internships, or clinics focused on AI legal issues. If you happen to find any practical experience, then this can definitely help you to build practical skills and establish a network of contacts in the field.
If you found that interesting and are interested in how AI will affect and transform programming, click the video on the screen and I'll see you there.